Well, we told you it was a perfect day for football. 62 degrees. There is a slight breeze. Sunny skies here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for today. Browns won the toss. They will receive. A look at Jeff Reed, who has had his struggles with field goals to begin this season for the Steelers. Josh Cribbs, Solomon Wilcott's always a threat as he was a year ago, returning on the distance for the Browns against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and 8 of those kickoff returns for touchdowns. 3 have occurred against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Special teams was a problem in 2009 for Pittsburgh. Today, the Steelers special teams will be tested by Joshua Cribbs.
A lot of anticipation in this city for this game, and of course Roethlisberger, as we were mentioning before, right at the center of all the talk.
Now, you talked about the ups and downs of Ben Roethlisberger. This is a city that loves their football team and their football players.
It's the Steelers and the Browns, and away we go, trying to slow up the return for Cribbs, who takes it from about the 10, finds a gap and is taken down and brought on the play to the ground by Kieran Fox on a 26-yard return. This will take us to the Cleveland Brown offense, and here is quarterback Colt McCoy, starting for the injured Jake Delhomme and the injured Seneca Wallace.
Now, we talked about Colt McCoy and the challenge he's facing going up against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense. It's designed to confuse your blocking scheme. More importantly, it's designed to fool the quarterback.
But they can't be afraid to use McCoy either. He's got to play quarterback. He's got to throw that ball.
But he needs to be cautious. He needs to learn on each and every snap.
Hillis in the backfield, first down and 10. Good throw. Caught across the way by Brian Robisky. It is a gain of 8. He's up to the 43-yard line. And on the offensive line, the left side struggled last week. Pasho starts for the injured John St. Clair at right tackle today. And running back Peyton Hillis has a bruised thigh. Only practiced on Friday, but he starts this afternoon. They'll need a lot of him this afternoon.
Well, Hillis has to help fuel the offense. He has to do everything he can to put some yardage and points on the board to help his young quarterback.
Wildcat on the second play, second down and 2. Cribbs bounced inside. James Harrison got a hand on him. Gain of 1 up to the 44-yard line as we take a look at that Pittsburgh defense. The underrated Aaron Smith, part of a very solid defensive line. Hampton in the middle against Mack will be a good matchup. Very good linebackers. Timmons, the youngest of the group, playing well, leads the team in tackles. And in the secondary, the ubiquitous Troy Polamalu. A couple of interceptions, single most important defensive player on the field for the Steelers today. Third down and 1. McCoy back in. Hillis. Well, looks like he was diving after the McFadden hit close to the 45-yard line. The spot will, of course, tell us where he was on the landing and if he got the first down.
It's going to be close. Mangini.
Got it.
Yeah, they did get it. What did Mangini tell us? He said, our goal today is create manageable third downs for Colt McCoy. The way that you could see it developing, the early trend, allow Colt McCoy to throw it on first down. Go with the Wildcat on second down to create a third and short where they can stick it in the belly of Peyton Hillis so he can power it for the first down. So really interesting sequence of plays for Eric Mangini.
He initially gave him the first down. Now they bring the chains out on this first drive of the game, and he is short. Oh, they give him the first down. He had the same issue last year. Remember that on the measurement? It looked like he was short.
That was right on the tip of the nose. I mean, the very tip.
Can we get a replay of the measurement? That's what we need right now.
Yeah, that was a good sequence of plays. It's very encouraging for Colt McCoy.
Let me ask you now. That looks short to me. If indeed, of course, if that last link is what you're going by, and that's obviously what they're going by, they get the first down. Wow, came to the near side of Cribbs. Was either a missed throw by McCoy or a bad route by Cribbs who blew the play.
First of all, pressure in the face of Colt McCoy coming right here from Harrison, working up against Joe Thomas. The ball has to come out early, and he doesn't get it to Cribbs on the quick slant. And so that's what Cribbs is going to, I think Cribbs is going to be the hot read, and that's what Colt McCoy said. Hey, we have to find the hot read. Who's going to be my hot receiver when they bring the blitz?
It is 2nd down and 10. Morris kind of tripped, and he was tripped up in the backfield by Timmons, and no gain on the play. They stay at the 45.
Timmons is quickly becoming one of the better players on a defense that's already star-studded. You can see them blitzing right there. See him getting penetration. Both he and Troy Polamalu plugging up the A-gaps. So you get to Peyton Hillis in the backfield before he can get started. Peyton Hillis is one of those running backs. He's a do-it-all kind of a guy. Dick LeBeau knows that really everything is going to evolve around Peyton Hillis today.
Stuckey becomes the extra receiver. 5th defensive back is Gay. 3rd down and 10. That's caught. Moore, the tight end, working downfield on the 5th defensive back. Gay to the 36-yard line. That's a strike of 18 yards. And a flag was thrown on the play.
Wow, this is a great throw. Colt McCoy showing me something. This ball's on the money. In my film study during the week, that's the one thing I found out. Look at him. Watch, he'll take a hit.
Offside, number 56, defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is 1st down.
The film study showed on Colt McCoy. And going back, he had to sample his college games. And more importantly, during the preseason, the final preseason game, Kevin, he went 13 for 13 in that game. His accuracy, I think, is at a very high level. If he can become comfortable in this game against this defense, if he gets a guy who's open, he's going to hit him right on the money.
Hampton back in, 7th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Woodley with the sack. Harkin back at the 50-yard line, a significant loss of 9 on the play. Woodley comes up with the douse. That is his 3rd sack of the season.
And Peyton Hillis is overmatched by Lamar Woodley at the top of your screen, trying to get the block on the linebacker who just pours right in, right on top of Colt McCoy. And that's the kind of long day that the Pittsburgh Steelers defense want to make it for Colt McCoy, the young running back.
Now 2nd and 19. Still 4 in the secondary. Pashos with the block this time at the right tackle. Intercepted and picked off on the play. Ryan Clark brought down by Moore at the 28. Clark comes up with his 1st interception of the season with a 10-yard return and a turnover on the 1st interception thrown in the young career of Colt McCoy.
When we talked to Colt McCoy last night, he says, I cannot be timid. I have to challenge the defense, and he does here. This ball's on the money, off the hands of his receivers, into the hands of Ryan Clark for an interception.
Quick pick. We're going to get a quick look at Ben Roethlisberger. 4,300 yards passing last season. Question is, can he pick up where he left off?
Yeah, I think he has to start conservatively, but they're going to need him to make plays throwing the football.
1st and 10. Mendenhall. Banged out of bounds on the near side by Elam. Works it up to about the 37, picks up 8 yards on the play. Barton was there as well from the linebacking core for the Cleveland Browns. Roethlisberger practiced 3 days last week, all this week, missing the 1st quarter of the season.
And he took advantage of the bye week, his 1st week back at practice with the football team. He said it would have been his first inclination would have been to come out and play immediately to put this all behind him, but he said, I had to take advantage of the extra time spent with my teammates on the practice field.
3rd receiver is Randall L. 5 in the secondary, 2nd and a long 1. Mendenhall, Wallace tries to give a block. Fujita is there, Ward is there, gain of 3 to the 42. And let's take a look now at the offensive line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The right guard today will be Doug Legursky, making his 3rd consecutive start for the injured Trey Essex. Running back Rashard Mendenhall, 7th leading rusher coming into today. Before the bye, he was number 2. He is vital for this team, as you were talking about. Four in the secondary, 1st and 10. Mendenhall. Tava Rubin was there in the middle on a gain of 4 to the 45.
So you see they come out and they pound Rashard Mendenhall as you take a look at the defensive line for the Cleveland Browns.
Schaefering taking the place of the injured Robert Smith. Solid linebacker core headed by the versatile Matt Roth, coming off a good game with 8 career-high tackles last week against Atlanta. And the rookie T.J. Ward leads the Browns in tackles in the secondary. He's out of Oregon, a second-round pick. Roethlisberger on his first possession, second down and 6. Heavy by Mendenhall. Brought down to the play by Gokong, the ex-Eagle, gain of 5 to the 50. Close to a first down.
So the Pittsburgh Steelers come out and they continue to do what they've done best in their first 4 games, going 3-1. They run the ball 3 times, and even the one pass play they've had has gone to Rashard Mendenhall. What did Ben Roethlisberger tell us? He says, look, we don't need to run more. We just need to run more effectively. I think they've done that in the early going of today's game.
Redmond is in. David Johnson is in as well on this 3rd and 1. Yardage back, Isaac Redmond. He carves his way for a first down. Rubin brings him down. Gain of 4 to the 46 and move the chains for the Steelers.
How about that for an effective run play? Pounding it against a run defense that's pretty good in the Cleveland Browns. A lot of the talk coming into this game has been about Ben Roethlisberger, has been about Colt McCoy, but Rob Ryan puts together one of the best defenses in the National Football League. They are steadily improving. They are the only team in the NFL who has yet to allow a rushing touchdown all season long.
7th play of the drive on the McCoy interception. That's how Roethlisberger and his offense have gotten the ball. 5 in the secondary. 1st and 10. Going deep. Oh, and he's got Randall. Flags litter the field. Working on Sheldon Brown. That little pump fake has always been used in the arsenal of Roethlisberger.
It is one of his unique talents, the ability to manipulate coverage, the pump fake,
Pass
and he can extend the play. Look at the pump fake there.
Defense.
That's what causes Sheldon Brown to bite on the double move by Antoine Randall. And he's just forced to really, I think, respect that pump fake by Ben Roethlisberger. Already we're seeing the presence of Ben Roethlisberger in this game making a difference far beyond what they were able to get from Dennis Dixon or Charlie Batch.
So in essence, a 26-yard penalty and put the ball at the 20-yard line of the Browns. First down and 10. Mendenhall. A lot of work up there, taking it down to the 17-yard line. They have a gain of 3 as Barton makes the stop for Cleveland.
Yeah, you know, Tuber Rubin, their nose tackle, he's the guy that sort of changes in and out with Sean Rogers. Both guys are playing very well, but Rubin, 71, he's one of the emerging stars on this defense. So the Cleveland Brown defense, while they're still on the field, the penalty flag against them, they have been playing well this year.
Coleman in on the stop in that previous play, 2nd down and 8. Mendenhall dancing on Fujita. With a good little move down to the 14-yard line and picks up 4 on the play.
It's a physical game out there, Kevin. Watch the pressure pouring in on Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to take a lick. And then, of course, Mendenhall trying to put a move on the defensive lineman, Scott Fujita, who makes an excellent tackle, but it starts with pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. They want him to feel like he's been in a football game for the first time. And there were 2 games last year against Rob Ryan's defense. This Cleveland Brown defense sacks Ben 11 times in those 2 games.
No defensive linemen unless they put linebackers in a 3-point stance. Look at this on 3rd and 4. Roethlisberger didn't like the look. He said it's as confusing a defense as he faces all year.
It's hard for the offensive lineman and the quarterback to count where the blitzer is coming from.
Pittsburgh timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Sprint, the Now Network.
We talked to Ben Roethlisberger on Friday. He said one thing about a Rob Ryan Cleveland defense, they gave you a lot of different looks, and that time with no defensive linemen.
A lot of different looks that you haven't seen before, even if you are a veteran quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger.
Moore is an extra defensive back out there for the Browns, 3rd and a short 4. That's 6 in the secondary. Ventronis come in. Intercepted, picked off on the play. This is the rookie Hayden getting a block and dancing his way. And look at him now, weave and zig and zag, and there he goes. Hayden with his first career interception. And look at the return, brought down on the play by Flozell Adams. Interception by Roethlisberger. 62-yard return.
Wow, you talk about different looks. 3 safeties were stacked to the middle of the field, and the corners were just sitting outside. And Ben Roethlisberger is trying to get this one to Mewelde Moore, and he overthrows him. Now, Ben Roethlisberger didn't throw an interception in the red zone in the fourth quarter all of last year, didn't have an interception inside the red zone. So now he gets picked off by Joe Hayden. Hayden takes this one back, and wow, this one is going to be huge. Look at the horse collar. They didn't throw a flag on that one, but great play by Joe Hayden.
They don't teach offensive linemen to tackle, as you can see there by Adams. 1st and 10. Hillis for a gain of 5, and hit on the play by Kiesel. Markham at the 30-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So both quarterbacks starting today, the headline makers in this game with pickoffs. As you take a look at the 7th overall pick, Joe Hayden out of the University of Florida.
So many people are going to talk about Ben Roethlisberger maybe trying to do too much. I don't think he was trying to do too much. It was just a misfire. He overthrew his intended receiver. He had a great play by Joe Hayden. And we told you this Cleveland Browns defense, they're pretty good in their own right.
On 2nd down and 5, play action. Here comes Ridley again. He's already got 1 sack, but the rookie quarterback gets it away. That's Benjamin Watson, upended by James Harrison. Mark him down at the 21-yard line. A flag is down on a gain of 9.
And boy, Colt McCoy is taking a licking. They're getting some hits on the quarterback.
Tripping, number 55, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still 2nd down.
That is the rookie, I make it the 2nd-year center, Alex Mack out of Cal. He was last year Mangini's #1 pick.
Yeah, they caught the center, and then the hit on Colt McCoy by Lamar Whitley. Look at the jersey's already dirty. You would think he's already played a 4-quarter football game. That's why Joshua Cribbs is going to come in for a little bit.
Second Wildcat look we'll have for this Cleveland offense. And this has been an effective weapon against Pittsburgh in the past.
Oh, it really has. And Joshua Cribbs, remember, he was a quarterback in college at Kent State.
Spot foul, 2nd and 6. Hillis got the direct handoff and holds it down on the play by Eason. Gain of 3 to the 27.
Colt McCoy, it's been a mixed bag for him so far. He's looked good when he has been under pressure, delivering the ball with great accuracy for a completion. But then he's taking the sack. We told you he's already getting the jersey dirty. And then the interception on his first possession in his very first start as an NFL quarterback. So he's going to have to weather the storm. And, you know, when he was told that he was going to be redshirted this year, he said he never embraced that. He had always prepared himself to play. And, boy, he probably enters the most difficult situation.
McCoy back in, 3rd down and 3, and flags will stop that. This is Benjamin Watson. Nice stop over there by Ryan Clark, gain of a yard. Unless they stopped the play before it even had legs.
Well, that's the deal. The flags were thrown, but I never heard a whistle blow.
I didn't either.
Offsides, number 43, defense. 5-yard penalty.
1st down.
1st down.
Polamalu.
Polamalu is who they're going to, there he is right there. He shoots the gap. He shoots the gap.
Now to the 23-yard line. Hoke has come in for Hampton. 1st and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. Interceptions both ways to begin it. Wildcat. Where they read that well, James Ferrier, the veteran, 35 years of age. Now in his 14th season, gain of a yard and down to the 21.
One of the advantages the Pittsburgh Steelers have. Look at the outside positioning. Look at that, all the hats to the ball, they swarm. But one of the advantages they have against a Wildcat, they run a 3-4 defense. So the outside linebackers of Harrison and Whitley, they are already outflanked. They bring Troy Polamalu up in the box. You saw him containing the play. It's hard to run outside on the edges against this 3-4 defense. And with their speed, it's almost impossible.
McCoy back in, 2nd and 9. Look at the rush up the middle. Farrior dousing him for a 2nd time today. Also a nice play. Timmons. Let's go to New York. And James Brown.
Hey, Kevin, Kevin Cobb doing his part, Kevin, to lay claim to the starting position. Hooking up top here, 34 yards to the speedster, Deshaun Jackson. Kevin Cobb, 2 of 3, 56 yards and a touchdown. 14-0 Philly over Atlanta. Back to Kevin and Solomon.
Michael Vick is suited up and on the sideline today for the Eagles.
Yeah, he has listed, I think, as the number 3 quarterback. And so the fact that Kevin Cobb's going to be given this full game to try to lay stake to that starting quarterback position.
Nickel secondary, 3rd and 17. Had to get to the 13. And down he goes on a run of 9. So the rookie out of Texas, McCoy, gets him deeper into Pittsburgh territory.
We talk about speeding up the play. Check this out. Now, he's clean. That's a clean pocket. Where is he going? He's got to keep his vision down the field for the open receiver. He gave up on the play way too quickly, and that's what he's being coached at. Hey, the protection was there for Colt McCoy, but the defense has already sped up the game for Colt McCoy after getting a couple of sacks and a hit on the quarterback.
If Dawson hits this, he'll become the all-time leading field goal kicker in the history of the Browns organization. 39-yarder passing Lou Groza. And the Browns cash in on the interception by the rookie Hayden. Hayden got the pick on Roethlisberger, who comes back momentarily, 151 in the first.
Kevin, 3 reasons why the Steelers should be leery of the Cleveland Browns, who wrecked their 2009 playoff hopes, landing the Steelers a critical 5th consecutive loss. How about Joshua Cribbs, who's burned the Steelers for 3 career kick returns for touchdowns, and then a rookie cornerbacks who have revitalized that secondary, and T.J. Ward and Joe Hayden. We already seen Hayden get one of those interceptions. The Browns are much improved under their head coach, Eric Mangini, and Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers should not take them lightly.
Phil Dawson will kick off for the Cleveland Browns, and deep back will be Emmanuel Sanders, a rookie out of SMU who they really like. He's being up on that active roster for the first time since opening weekend. That bright Pennsylvania sun from the 1. It is a 17-yard return out to the 18-yard line. Our second look at Ben Roethlisberger when we come back to Pittsburgh. 3-0 Cleveland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. Find an agent or get a quote at statefarm.com. And by Denny's new Build Your Own Omelet. Choose from 17 different ingredients and make your own omelet your own way.
Each quarterback has thrown an interception so far. Browns cash in on the Roethlisberger interception with a 39-yard field goal. The 19, 1st and 10. Mendenhall. And the second level gets him right there with the gain out to about the 24, gain of 5.
Kevin, let's go back and take a look at the red zone interception by Ben Roethlisberger. We're going to take a look at it right here. Now, here's the deal. He should not have thrown the ball simply because here's his key right here. That's his key, and that's going to be the Mike Adams, the defensive back, and so he is really shrinking the throwing lane, and so Ben should not have thrown that ball there. Forces the overthrow, and it's picked off. So he's got to do a better job of reading the coverage in that situation.
Miller on the move, 2nd down and 5. Miller with the block, finds Ward. Hit by the other Ward, T.J. Ward. And a little catch and run across the way of 3 yards on the play at the 27-yard line. He's got the right to be a little bit rusty, doesn't Roethlisberger? I mean, the timing is not going to be perfect.
Well, I think that in terms of his recognition of coverage, that's something that you can expect him to be very sharp on. Now, the physical rust and the wear in terms of the game speeding up, there may be some rust, there may be a slow start, but that's one of those typical reads. It's an easy read. I think he tried to jam it into a tight area, and clearly he overthrew the intended receiver, and it led to an interception.
Redmond is in, 3rd and 1. Redmond gets the call. And the first down run earlier, you may recall, and some nice tackling in there by the Cleveland Browns, hit by Coleman, whacked by Ataba Rubin, close to a first down. He had to get beyond the 29, and let's see where that ball is spotted. On the second possession for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. And the return of Roethlisberger. we're going to get the measurement right off the bat. Mike Tomlin was very encouraged by what he had seen of Roethlisberger, the conversations they had had over the last month, and how he had prepared himself for this first game back.
Well, he spent his entire time off during that suspension working with a personal quarterback coach. So he wanted to work on his footwork, his timing, his technique, and all the fundamentals required to play at a high level at the quarterback position. And remember, he did go through training camp and preseason with this football team. He played in all the preseason games, and so his timing really ought to be good. I think they were really pleased with how his conditioning was and his timing since he has rejoined the team in practice going back to a week ago.
And they thought he had a good preseason, which paved the way for his return today at the end of one. Browns by 3. We start the second quarter with the 1st and 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 30-yard line with Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan. Roethlisberger 3 of 4 so far through the air. 1 interception. Right on the money. That's a catch by Wallace, who is replacing the now departed Santonio Holmes. Pickup of 11. First down to the 40-yard line.
And you can see Bend is ready to throw the ball. This one's thrown with laser lock accuracy. I was downstairs in the tunnel just before the game, and he had attempted about 100 throws even before he came out to warm up on the field in front of the cameras. He stayed underneath in the tunnel to warm up, and so the physical part of it, I think, should be at a high level to start this game.
Browns are in the nickel. Randall L is in. 1st and 10 from the Pittsburgh 40. How about this? Tackle was finally made by Schaeferling out of Lindenwood College. Gain of 5 in the sprint. That was a busted play, it looks like, to the 44-yard line. As they are preparing the Sprint halftime report in New York with JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores, highlights, and news. Sprint halftime report coming up next from New York.
And Roethlisberger very aware. Matt Roth had blitzed, and had he thrown that ball, Matt Roth probably would have intercepted. That's why Ben just tucked it and ran with it.
Smart move.
Real good heads-up play.
The nickel on 2nd down and 5. How about this nice churning run? Mendenhall out of the University of Illinois carves his way for 7. Has the first down and picked up on the play by Abram Elam.
Wow, this is just a wonderful play right between, look at the left tackle, Starks. Able to get through that hole between Starks and Chris Kimoyatu to get to the second level. Your left guard, left tackle, get the crease, getting to the second level of this Cleveland Brown defense. Mendenhall has been excellent in the first 4 or 5 games of the season.
1st and 10. Mendenhall again. Nice wrap up there on that line by Schaeferling. No gain on the play. In fact, there is probably some argument that says that Mendenhall is right now the MVP through the first month of this year.
Well, I think you can really point to that, particularly when this team goes 3-1 without their quarterback being Roethlisberger. Last year, they only averaged 26 run plays per game, and they threw it 33 times a game. Well, it's almost opposite. They flipped those numbers coming into today's game, where they averaged 30 run plays called each week.
Back to 4 in the secondary. 2nd down and 10. Another nice defensive play turned in by Sheldon Brown. It's a loss on the pitch out to Mendenhall of 2 to the 48-yard line.
Hard to account when you get the cornerback involved in the front end of your defense. Watch him shoot the gap coming off the corner. See, they don't even see him. The pulling guard doesn't even see him. He's able to run right by Legursky to get the tackle. There's the play selection right there. Look, overwhelmingly last year in terms of the number of pass plays, and you can see those numbers have flipped this year. They are running the ball. And Art Rooney saying that we have to put more of an emphasis on running the football, and the coaches have heard his crowd.
Yeah, when Mr. Rooney speaks, everybody listens. 3rd and 13 into the nickel for Big Ben. On the move, on the money, caught. First NFL reception for the rookie out of SMU, Emmanuel Sanders. Brought down on the play by Hayden. 22-yard pickup on the fly to the 19. First down, Pittsburgh.
There's no rust here. Emmanuel Sanders gets into the hole. Take a look at Ben Roethlisberger. Now, we're going to show you his vision. See his vision down the field? See, when he's running to throw. eyes down the field, finding, look at the tight window, and still laser-like accuracy to the wide receiver. Excellent throw by Big Ben.
They like him as that fourth receiver out there. That's why he got the starting nod over the other rookie who he trades places with and returns, Antonio Brown. It is a first down for the Pittsburgh Steelers at the 29 of Cleveland. Redmond offers a block. Big Ben, who sacked more than any other quarterback a season ago, gets it away. That's the one thing he can do. And you've talked all week long about how he extends plays.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback was outside of the pocket.
And what he does when the pocket does crumble.
This is something that you just don't get with other quarterbacks. You're not going to get this with Charlie Batch. Now, he really should have been down, but he's a big, athletic, physical quarterback. Look, he should go down right there. And Dennis Dixon, while he had mobility, he didn't run to throw in the same way that Ben Roethlisberger does.
Scott Fujita is injured in 10:47 to play here in the second. Scott Fujita, who played for New Orleans a season ago, walking off under his own powers. Second down and 10. Heath Miller so far has not caught a pass for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here comes Roth. There goes Ben. Touchdown, Wallace. What a play. He beats Eric Wright.
Wallace is the home run hitter. And boy, is Ben Roethlisberger still capable of throwing that fastball, even while under pressure. Why, it looked as if he were going to be sacked. And let's take a look at it. He was under pressure. You don't get this from just any quarterback in the National Football League. Pressure coming off the blind side, and take a look at it. Take a look, and then he just cuts it loose. And it's accurate, under pressure. Back shoulder to Wallace for a touchdown.
Wallace has had big-time receptions this season, but that's his third touchdown catch of the year. Now it is 7-0 Pittsburgh. On that drive, Roethlisberger hit Wallace for 11, hit Sanders for 22, then Big Ben throws a 22-yard touchdown pass to Wallace. Wallace had a nice reception in the end zone while he had a defender right in his face. 7-3 is the score. Roethlisberger, who has thrown an interception today with a touchdown pass right there. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have taken the lead over the Cleveland Browns 7-3. That's a Roethlisberger. So far, so good.
The key is Ben Roethlisberger, though he commits the early error inside the red zone, throwing the interception to Joe Hayden. He's that veteran quarterback. He's been there and done that. He's won 2 Super Bowls. And remember, this was a team that before he came here, they won with a running game and defense. And he has proven that he can carry this team, much as he did in Super Bowl 43, to get the winning touchdown.
Cribbs, he'll leave it in the end zone. To the 20 and a touchback when we come back, and we'll see how the Browns respond to Roethlisberger's touchdown pass moments ago.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx. We understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by the all-new Volkswagen Jetta. It's great for the price of good. That's Das Auto.
Ben Roethlisberger, what does he bring to the table? His unique talents. Look at him sliding in the pocket. He can get to the edges, extend the play to find the open receiver. And then how about the pump fake to manipulate coverage, uncover the wide receiver at the third level of the defense, and then the accuracy to get it home. And then how about his ability to avoid the sack? Even when you don't block them all, he's athletic enough, but then the poise and presence in the pocket to find the open receiver. Ben Roethlisberger is one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and that's why now his return to an already good Pittsburgh Steelers football team makes them that much more dangerous.
Quick injury update. Eason is now in for the injured Brett Kiesel because of a hamstring. He may not return. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line after the Roethlisberger touchdown pass. They got Polamalu. McCoy, the 23. Run out of bounds by Whitley on a gain of about 2.5 on the play. The new NFL.com mobile apps have arrived. No matter where you are, you can track scores, set fantasy lineups, get highlights, follow your team. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for McCoy. This is where that Pittsburgh defense can really tighten the screws when you're deep in your own zone.
2nd and long, a rookie quarterback on the road against the best blitzing defense. Screen
pass, Hillis, Steinbach leading the way. So a lead block out there by Benjamin Watson. Knocked out of bounds on a catch and run near the 47. 22-yard pickup. Taylor knocking him out of bounds.
Really good play by design, but the breakdown in defense. Watch number 94, Timmons. See, he's got to come outside that block. You go inside, and now you can't contain the football, and so Hillis is able to get down the field. Timmons has got to come outside to stop that.
Pass complete to Hillis.
And Hillis only practiced one day this week, Friday.
He is a big boy who can run. Kind of reminds you, a throwback to the days of Jim Taylor.
Wildcat on 1st and 10. Cribbs, the college quarterback at Kent State. Woodley had a beat on him. No gain to the 46. And that is not good news for the Browns. He took a hit.
Wow. This is a hard-hitting rivalry between both teams. And this is a player you don't want to see anyone hurt. But you hope Cribbs is able to get up and shake this one off.
Woodley got him first, then Harrison came in and got him at the ear hole. Timeout. That is a great sign as Cribbs is up to his feet to walk on. It was a hit by his college teammate at Kent State, James Harrison, which really caught him. You can see there was some concern by Harrison there as well. The ball did get jarred free on the hit. Still Cleveland's ball.
Take a look. Harrison, 92, coming in from that blind side. It's a helmet-to-helmet collision. The ball is out. Not totally sure if Cribbs had a knee down. Oh, no, ball's out. And there's such a great concern for the well-being of Joshua Cribbs. I don't know that the Steelers ever looked to see if it was a fumble.
Womack was the one to fall on the loose ball. Massaquoi, bottom of your screen, 2nd down and 9. Great time, good block by Joe Thomas, who struggled last week, and that is caught by Hillis, who's brought down by Timmons on a gain of 5 to the Pittsburgh Steelers 49.
Joshua Cribbs, yeah, he wants back in right away. he's a proud young man. He doesn't believe that one hit can knock him out of the football game, and so he wants back in. But you know, this is one of those directives, one of those emphasis that the National Football League is looking at, head collisions, and so you have to do what's best for the player. And they have to make sure that he meets all the baseline testing before he comes back into the game.
Willis in the backfield, 3rd down and 5, 5 in the secondary, including William Gay for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Incomplete. Ike Taylor watching the receiver, Brian Robisky. They got to punt the ball on their possession, the 3rd of the day.
Colt McCoy said he has to know where the blitz is coming from and know where his hot read is. It's to that quick slanting wide receiver. And Ike Taylor knows that his defense is going to get pressure on the quarterback. He knows it's a 3-step drop. Ball has to come out quick as we see them take Joshua Cribbs in for more testing. Back to the locker room he goes.
Reggie Hodges to punt, and Antoine Randall back at the 10-yard line with a little bit of a breeze inside Heinz Field today. Great kick, knocked down by Hayden at the 1. What a punt by Reggie Hodges. So the Steelers will be marooned at their 1, 47-yard boot. Hayden with a pick already today and a nice touchdown there.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the new Silver Bullet aluminum pint from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. And by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Steelers have gotten a touchdown pass from Roethlisberger. We're going to begin at the 2 here. The ball was touched down by Joe Hayden on the beautiful punt by Hodges. 1st down and 10 to go. They want Roethlisberger to be Roethlisberger. I mean, he pushes the envelope. There's no doubt at that quarterback position.
Yeah, he talked about it where we spoke to him on Friday. We'll tell you more about that after the play.
Mendenhall backfield, first down and 10. Rashard Mendenhall bounces outside, gets the block from Wallace, and there he goes. Rashard Mendenhall. Knocked out of bounds by his own blocker at about the 27-yard line. That was a bounce out and a 25-yard gallop. Breathing space for the Steelers and a first down.
Take a look at Rashard Mendenhall. This is just good vision, good awareness, because they're going to plug up the hole, and you'll see he'll run right into a wall of defenders. Now watch the spin move. This is his patented spin move to daylight. He finds daylight, and look at him get to the second level. They can't even catch him. And he is one heck of a football player. No way you get away from Rashard Mendenhall as you bring back Ben Roethlisberger.
First and 10, blocked by Mendenhall. Great looking catch. 34-yard line with the tackle made on the play of Hines Ward. Sheldon Brown was right there. Gain of 7. Another first down.
Now Ben's starting to get warmed up. And when he's throwing it very accurately. Right now 7 for 9 in the ball game, 80 yards. And so they're dialing up more run plays so far in this game. 12 runs, only 9 pass plays, but Ben has completed 7 of those 9 attempts.
183 consecutive games, tied for 4th all time. It is second down and 3. So first down, second down and 3. Johnson leads the way. Isaac Redmond, who was the short yardage guy, banging his way. Now he's got the first down. Gain of 6 up to the 40-yard line. And tonight on CBS, the CEO of Frontier Airlines is going undercover, taking on tough jobs, learning his way around and earning his wings the hard way. It's an all-new Undercover Boss. It's tonight. It's only on CBS. Here's the first and 10. They began on their 2, now to their 40-yard line. Mendenhall back in. Go call. Brings them down. No gain on the play. They stay at the 40.
Kevin, we talked to Ben Roethlisberger. I said, I'm hearing you say this all week, that you're going to try to not to do too much. Everyone else is saying, don't try to do too much. I said, but as long as I've been watching you play, you've always pushed it to the limit. You've always extended the play. You've always bought a little bit more time for your receivers to get open. Can you play another way? Can you taper it back? He says, hey, I only know one way to play. And he said, you know, I have to balance it. There's a fine line between asking too much out of a play and then learning and knowing when to give up on it.
Brown's in the nickel. Antoine Randall, the 5th back, second down and 10. The pocket collapses. Gokong had him. The slippery Roethlisberger. Incomplete. Arm was moving. Incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 10. Again, he keeps that play alive for a long time.
He even said he had a conversation with our colleague Bill Cowher, his former coach here, who said, hey, don't try to do too much. I think this is one of those plays where Coach Cowher can say, okay, Ben's trying to do too much. See, he leaves the ball exposed. He ends up throwing it, and he nearly fumbled the ball even under pressure. That's maybe one of those plays that if Ben goes back and look at it on tape, he says, okay, I have to know when to live to fight another day and not expose the ball for a potential turnover. But that's Ben Roethlisberger. He lives on the edge. I don't know that he knows any other way to play.
This is the second Sharks timeout. Pittsburgh.
It'll be 3rd and 10. Looks like the Steelers have taken their second timeout. 1 remaining, 5:07 to play here in the first half from Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger with a touchdown pass and a pick. And tomorrow on CBS, Hawaii Five-0 is turning up the heat and laying down the law. Don't miss TV's #1 news show, Hawaii Five-0. That's tomorrow. It's only on CBS. Ben Roethlisberger so far, 7 of 10 for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
His team was 3-1 before the return of Ben Roethlisberger. His return has been greatly anticipated. Everyone asking him to play of a conservative nature. He already has pushed it to the edge. 1 interception. Then he comes out throwing laser lock passes. Then while under pressure, a touchdown pass to Wallace. He continues to live on the edge. He only knows one way to play. He says, hey, I don't liken myself to Michael Jordan, but I don't know that you can ask Michael Jordan to play any other way than he did.
3rd down and 10 after that Pittsburgh timeout. 1 defensive lineman, 6 in the secondary. with the block from the Weldon Moore. Here comes Ben extending the play. Oh, and he had his receiver Hines Ward with the coverage by Brown downfield. Incomplete. It'll be 4th down. They got to punt the ball.
Now, this is a matter of angles because Ben bought more time. He extended the play, and the receiver who knows him the best is Hines Ward. But Ward breaks it off over the middle, and he should have went vertical. And I think that's what Ben was anticipating. That's what created the incompletion. As Ward came open, he went over the middle as opposed to going deep.
With no Cribbs, Stuckey will be retrieving and catching the punts. We assume the kickoffs as well. 44-yard punt right there. So this will affect the Cleveland Browns as Cribbs will not play with a head injury the rest of the day. And check out the new CBSSports.com shop. You'll get officially licensed NFL gear. Get 3-day shipping on every order. Go to shop.cbssports.com. All right, let's advance this story here. No more Cribbs, a lot on McCoy's plate.
Huge blow, because we said at the top that the Wildcat had to be the wild card to help supplement this offense with their rookie quarterback. Now, the total production of the offense falls on the shoulders of their rookie quarterback.
Kiesel out too for the rest of the game on that defensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1st and 10, Hillis. Eason replaces Kiesel among the many right there with the stop on a gain of 3 to the 19.
And what that means is that maybe McCoy, of the 65 offensive snaps they're going to get, maybe he's going to play 40 of those. And then maybe the others go to Joshua Cribbs playing quarterback in the Wildcat offense. And so now all the snaps, all the production for Eric Mangini's offense falls on the shoulders of Colt McCoy. That means he's open to getting more hits and even more peril going up against this Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
On 2nd down and 7, Hillis again. Big hole for Hillis out of Arkansas. Rumbling his way up to the 33-yard line. Brought down on the play by Ike Taylor. 14-yard pickup and a 1st down. Clark was there as well.
Oh, this is just a great play by design, and they bring the motion, watch it, across the action. See, they're going to hold this guy here, and that's why they're able to bring that reverse motion. When you bring the reverse motion, that creates the running lane right up the middle. And he's able to get to the 2nd level. So it's an excellent design on the play by the Cleveland Browns.
Good ceiling block, too, by the right tackle Pashas. 1st and 10, Hillis. Heavy diet to him. Harrison coming through with the stop among the many, a gain of 2 to the 34.
No, Hillis, we talked about him being one of those throwback players. He can run it. He has excellent hands coming out of the backfield. 5 touchdowns in their first 5 games this season. So he's a guy that can find the end zone. And what did he tell us? Even Eric Mangini said we tried to trade for him even a year ago. And he told Hillis that, hey, if you come here, there's no reason why you should not be a 1,000-yard back playing in this offense.
2 tight ends on 2nd down and 8. Good block by Hillis and Polamalu. McCoy shy of the 1st down, 40-yard line, chased out of bounds across the way by Ferrier on a pickup of 6.
Now this is the first NFL start in the career of Colt McCoy, and he senses the pressure very early. And then he gives up. Look, watch when he tucks it. Now, see, he's tucking to run. His vision's not down the field. His vision is toward that sideline. He's running for safety to get away from Troy Polamalu. His parents are in attendance here at today's game. They don't want to see him in harm's way. Maybe they think he did the right thing. Run and live to fight another day.
Well, it gives him another dimension, doesn't it, without Cribbs?
Absolutely. He does have the mobility, but like a veteran quarterback, keep your vision down the field.
3rd and 3, Steelers in the nickel. Hillis, Polamalu to the 44. He's got the 1st down, picking up 4 on the play, and the Browns keep it alive.
Boy, Troy Polamalu, a violent player at the point of contact. When he hits you, he's not nice about it. He's a guy that's a soft-spoken young man, very polite. But when he puts that helmet on, boy, he has bad intentions.
If I'd have told you at the 2-minute warning, your quarterback making his first start has thrown a pick and you've lost Josh Cribbs, an element of your offense you could not lose, you're down by 4, you'd probably take that if you're Cleveland.
You're feeling okay, but you have your fingers crossed.
Yes. Mike Bell is in. 1st and 10. Bell picks up Polamalu. Massaquoi was drilled. Oh, my goodness. Harrison again laying the wood, and he is slow to get up. Much like Cribbs before him. Flag has been thrown. Harrison is all over the field. 2008 NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
Once again, a violent collision. This one's head-to-head, much in the same way it was with Joshua Cribbs. Now, why wasn't the flag thrown on the earlier one? Remember, Cribbs was a runner with the football. He was not in a defenseless position. Watch Massaquoi. See, he's defenseless. No way he can protect himself. No way he can see the defender coming. He's looking for the football. Let's listen in.
That could be a fine right there, Helmet. That's exactly what the league is trying to stay away from. Exactly.
After the play, delay of game on the offense, number 55 kicking the ball, will be 5-yard penalty, and it's second down.
I think Matt kicked the ball the center.
And Matt kicked the ball out because he thought it could possibly be a fumble. Yes. That's why he kicked the ball. He didn't want to fall on it or anything. He didn't know what it would be ruled. It looked as if he were coming to just kick it out to get the ball out of bounds so that they can maintain possession. See, watch, instead of him pouncing on it, see, he's just going to go ahead and kick it out.
Really is a smart guy. When at Cal, he won the Dratty Trophy, which is the Heisman of academics.
Smart guy.
Yeah,
maybe he could have responded a little bit better there, but I'm not so sure if James Harrison doesn't get a letter in the mail from the league office this week.
3 timeouts moments ago for Cleveland. They've just burned one right there. They're down to 2. So now they've lost Massaquoi, who looks like he'll probably go to the locker room, and Stuckey will take his place. Timeout, and coming up in the Sprint halftime report from our CBS studios in New York, JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Latest NFL scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Coach Cowher was in Pittsburgh earlier this week interviewing Ben Roethlisberger.
Visiting his former team as we take a look at Eric Mangini trying to get his offense going here on second and very long.
The reason they had to take that timeout, it was an injury timeout in the last 2 minutes of the half. Second and 15. Hillis into the teeth of that defense and picks up 6 on the play, and he's got the ball out to the 45-yard line.
And Kevin, I want to go back to that hit by Harrison. Remember, he's former defensive MVP in the National Football League. He is a very good player. He's a smart player. I don't think he intends to commit any harm, but all we're speaking about is the safety of the game, and there are rules in place that are meant to protect players like what we saw in that play by Mohamed Massaquoi.
Hood and Smith will be the only defensive linemen out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3rd and 9. Hillis with you to the 45 and no gain on the play. They got a punt.
And Harrison is everywhere. He's flying around, nipping at the heels of these offensive linemen. What a star-studded defense. You have players like Harrison. You have Ferrier, you have Troy Polamalu, and obviously you've got other guys like Lamar Woodley. Lawrence Timmons is a burgeoning star on this defense. Where do you go? Where is the weak link? I'm not so sure there are any on this defense.
They've only given up 4 touchdowns. They've not allowed a running back in the NFL that they faced this year to go over 42 yards rushing on the ground.
How about
they
this?
Make a statement.
Dick LeBeau's defense haven't allowed a run for over 20 yards so far this year. In fact, the longest run from scrimmage against this defense is 12 yards. That's incredible. Of the teams that, remember, they played a game against Chris Johnson, one of the better running backs in the National Football League.
Hillis has had a run of 14 today. Hillis has carried it 9 times for 33 yards. Second consecutive punt coming up for the Browns. Hodges, Antoine Randall. Another great bounce. Adams let it go by, out of bounds at the 6. Hodges has had a terrific 2 consecutive punts. A 49-yard punt right there is out of Ball State with a great kick right there. Wednesday on Showtime, JB, Chris Collinsworth, Phil Simms, and Warren Sapp come your way on cable's longest-running show. It's the multi-award winning Inside the NFL. It's every Wednesday on Showtime. Story today, the return of Ben Roethlisberger after a 4-game suspension imposed by the NFL for the personal conduct rule violation. He's thrown a pick. He's thrown a 29-yard touchdown pass today.
Everyone wants him to be conservative. He said, hey, my coach, Mike Thomas, says, hey, I'm not going to hold the reins on you. You go out and be big.
Houston taking Weldy Moore. The Johnson lead block. Wrapped up at about the 6-yard line on the play and hit by Barton. Whacked by Ward. Gain of a yard.
And we talked to Ben, and we talked about the numbers they put up last year throwing the football. And he mentioned the fact that they had a 4,000-yard passer. They had 2 wide receivers who had over 1,000 yards, and they also had a 1,000-yard rusher. He said, we believe that we can win with the formula we used 1 year ago. And I was kind of surprised by that because they went 9-7. They had a 5-game losing streak, and they failed to make the playoffs. But they believe they can win using that style of play.
Mendenhall, 2nd down and 9. And Roth slowed him down. Then he was hit by Ibram Elam and a loss of a yard. Back to the 6, and that will take us to halftime. And there's Ataba Rubin working on Pouncey, the rookie, who starts at center for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pouncey is one of the brightest young players I ever sat down and talked to before games. He says he makes every single call at the line of scrimmage. And he is a guy who's just born ready. And from the time he stepped on the field, he's taken every single snap in the preseason and training camp. And so far this year, he's already become a leader, and the veterans have accepted him. When he sat down with us in our production meeting, you felt as if you were talking to a veteran, Kevin.
Cleveland just took their final timeout. In thinking of the center making all the line reads, as you talked about, and the confusion that a coach like Rob Ryan puts out there. I mean, it's a very, even for the most seasoned of centers.
And Pouncey told us the difference between college football and pros, at least for him. He says, hey, you can't play a game without looking in your playbook. I thought it was a smart answer.
3rd down and 10. Mendenhall. Rubin was right there.
Mendenhall.
There comes him. And to the 6. So they got a punt. Timeout taken by Cleveland. You want a fair catch this if they punt. Give a guy a chance maybe at a field goal on Wednesday on CBS. With the Senator as their client, the stakes have never been higher. Jim Belushi, Jerry O'Connell, the defendants. Wednesday only on CBS.
What if you could catch it and return it? Now, Daniel Sepulveda, he's a real good punter.
He is.
He's a very good one.
Number 2 in the NFL coming into today.
That's what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Want to make the catch.
54-yard punt. That takes us to halftime. Roethlisberger in his return with a touchdown pass and a pick. Colt McCoy had an interception. We've got a flag on the play as we keep it here. And it's going to be against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're over there visiting with Eric Mangini.
There was illegal touching on the kicking team. Cleveland has chosen not to elect another snap. The half is over.
Which takes us to halftime. 7-3. No Josh Cribbs the rest of the way. The Browns working from behind. You're on CBS. Yard touchdown pass by Ben Roethlisberger has been our game's only touchdown. Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan, thank you for joining us and your thoughts on Roethlisberger's first half.
My impression so far is that I think he's hit the ground running. Yes, he continues to push it to the edge. He's committed some mistakes, overthrowing an intended receiver for an interception, but then he bounced back, and with that same reckless energy, he throws for a touchdown while under duress. So, you know, Ben giveth and he taketh away, but it's been mostly positive.
Time now for the points of protection today, brought to us by Allstate.
When you think about points of protection, I think the Cleveland Browns, more than anything, they have to protect their rookie quarterback. Colt McCoy has been knocked down 4 times, sacked twice in the ball game, and then continue to pound the rock with their running back, Peyton Hillis. He has had a 14-yard run, the longest allowed by the Pittsburgh Steelers defense so far this season. And then welcome back Big Ben Roethlisberger, 80 yards passing. and a touchdown and an interception, so it's dead even for Ben right now. But you know, when the game is on the line, he's going to push it. He's going to look to make big plays on third down and in the final 2 minutes in the fourth quarter of today's game.
And we talked there a little bit about Colt McCoy, who has thrown a pick, as you mentioned. But so far, you know, there's been a steady hand at times with him throwing. He's 6 of 10 through the air.
I think he's hurried some throws. I think he's hurried even at times when he's had some protection. I think there's been the perceived pressure in the mind of Colt McCoy where he's bailed on some opportunities. But, you know, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense has a tendency to do that.
Rookie Emmanuel Sanders. Trusnick tripped him up, and he's out to about the 27 on a 21-yard return. On our first half highlights here in Pittsburgh today.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten it going with Ben Roethlisberger. Came out highly expectations of making plays, but we talked about the early costly error, the interception by Joe Hayden. But then he comes back and throws a touchdown pass to Mike Wallace while he's getting hit under pressure. So Ben Roethlisberger's done a couple of things. How about Harrison? The wicked hit on Joshua Cribbs and the same on Muhammad. Wow, you can feel that one rocking the broadcast booth. So it's been a game of Ben Roethlisberger, Rashad Mendenhall, and a lot of defense from Pittsburgh.
2 tight ends. Mendenhall on 1st and 10. And clog in the middle, Chris Gokong. Ex-Eagle, a gain of 1 to the 28.
This Cleveland Brown defense, they have improved. I think you look at their linebackers. I love what they put on the field. Smart, cagey linebackers capable of making plays. Chris Gokong, he came over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Scott Fujita had been with the world champion New Orleans Saints. As you take a look at Rob Ryan, their defensive coordinator, Matt Roth and Eric Barton are also excellent players at the linebacker position.
5 in the secondary, 2nd down and 9. Underneath they go. Hines Ward hit on the play by Eric Barton. The gain to the 37. Picks up about 9 yards and close to a Pittsburgh first down.
And boy, Hines Ward has been looking to get involved in the offense, watching come underneath, make the catch, look to create yards after the catch. And so Hines Ward is heating it up. He is their leading receiver in today's game, 3 catches. As you can see, they come into today's game ranked dead last in passing offense. In fact, they were dead last in passing attempts per game without Ben, attempting only 20 passes per game.
1st and 10 from a 37. 4 in the secondary. Mendenhall with a great block. Hines Ward. A block by Wallace. Tackle by Wright to the Cleveland 36-yard line. A catch at 26 and a first down for the Steelers.
Oh, man, this is a wonderful throw deep down the field. Watch how far it is outside the numbers. This ball has to travel a long way to get over to Hines Ward. Deep outside the numbers. Look at Eric Wright saying, hey, I'm doing all that I can do to try to get over there and make a play. But Hines Ward knows how to get separation. He comes back to the ball. It's coming right at you in your living room from Ben Roethlisberger. He and Hines Ward right now starting to heat up. We said it at the top, Kevin. No one is more happy at the return of Ben Roethlisberger than Hines Ward.
Starting in left guard, Chris Kemoeatu is down. Injury timeout, 13:15 to play in the 3rd. They're going to take a look at Chris Kemoeatu, the left guard. In his stead will be Ramon Foster. First down and 10. Beckman is in. Handoff. Mendenhall in the secondary. Like a little tackle there by Sheldon Brown. A gain of 12 to the 25.
Holding number 73 offense. 10-yard penalty. First down.
We just talked about him. He's taking the place of Kemoeatu, Foster.
Coach Mike Tomlin saying, yeah, can't do that. Can't do it. There he is right there. A little grab action.
Only the 2nd penalty on the Pittsburgh Steelers today. I've always wondered about Roethlisberger as the quarterback and the adjustments to the offensive line. You touched on this earlier, has to make with him in there because he does extend the play.
Marquise Pouncey, what did he say? He said, Ben coming back, that means I have to hold my blocks 10 seconds longer. So they're all aware of how Ben will extend the play.
Mendenhall in 1st and 20. Block there by Adams didn't make any difference because Schaeferle, taking the place of the injured Robert Smith, makes the stop. Gain of 2 to the 46-yard line.
They're continuing to pound the running game with, of course, Rashard Mendenhall. I don't think enough is said about him. He comes into today's game as the NFL's 3rd leading rusher. They needed him to get off to a great start in the month of September. In fact, they needed the defense and the running game. No way you're going to go 3-1 in those first 4 games without your running game being intact and your defense really holding the water and limiting the margin for error. And so they really have the right formula working for this football team.
Nickel is in 2nd and 18, nothing to Miller yet, and he throws that away. They may have been going to Miller, who was downfield blocking, and continues his block after the play as he was working on Ibram Elam. 3rd down.
Now we talk about quarterbacks being smart enough to know, hey, when is it okay to just give up on the play? Ben said he would be tested. I thought that was a smart play by Ben Roethlisberger. Pressure was coming in. His receiver wasn't open. They wanted to go with this quick screen play to Rashard Mendenhall. He wouldn't take a sack. He didn't try to extend it. He didn't risk a turnover. He just got rid of the football, and now he's facing a 3rd and 18. Better than having a negative play and just getting rid of the football.
6 in the secondary, Moore at his side, 3rd and 18. Moore with the block. Roethlisberger throws, almost picked off, incomplete. Eric Wright was right there.
He's lucky.
Yes.
And Ben is lucky. We just praised him for, kind of tapering his enthusiasm to make a great play. But watch this one. Hey, he's waiting and waiting, but he's looking the entire time. Watch him come back. He throws this right into coverage. Look at all the white jerseys there, cutting in front of Hines Ward.
So Sepulveda with punts. No Cribbs, he's injured. Stuckey is back. White's son back at the 9. Hang time of 4.37. Well-placed punt, 40 yards. Here comes Colt McCoy. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by TD Ameritrade.
And tonight on CBS, The Amazing Race goes extreme as teams square off in the Arctic Circle. And one intense competition sends someone over the edge. A new Amazing Race after 60 minutes. It's tonight. It's only on CBS. So Pittsburgh has entered 5 times, 3 punts. Here comes Colt McCoy, who they really wanted to redshirt, so to speak, using a college term this year. They didn't want him to play his rookie season.
Yeah, he said the early plan was to sit him. He said, I never embraced it. And Eric Mangini said, that's the kind of players we draft. It's one of our core traits. We want competitive players who are looking forward to getting on the field.
1st and 10. Good throw, Stuckey. Breaks a McFadden tackle, then Bryant gets over there, brings him down to the 34. Catch and run at 25, and a Cleveland 1st down.
The 5 possessions by the Cleveland Browns, 3 of them have started at or inside their own 20-yard line. There's a player down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And good play by the Cleveland Browns.
So an injury timeout, one of many we've had today. 11:16 to play in the 3rd from Pittsburgh.
As we return to Heinz Field, take a look at Nick Eason now. Look, that's Aaron Smith. Fall right on the back of his leg, and that's where linemen are most susceptible to injury. Very critical, and we're fortunate to see him walking off. Hopefully he can get back on the field.
Right before that injury, a 25-yard catch and run by Stuckey. Cribbs is out with a head injury, will not return. Massaquoi out with a head injury, will not return. On the 34, 1st and 10. Hillis right into the grasp of Ferrier. Gain of 5 to the 39.
You love the way they use that play to just allow Peyton Hillis to come downhill, and he's such a load, 240 pounds, but boy, can he run. We talk about him having the full and complete skill set to run it, catch it. He's a good blocker, does so many things well, and every time I put the tape on, I'm just amazed at how big he is, but what a good football player.
Ziggy Hood is in for Eason. The defensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, 2nd and 5. Stuckey on the end around. Thomas with the block. Tackle made by Harrison. 41 and a gain of 2. One of the big things for Cleveland today was being pretty good on first down so that third and whatever would be manageable.
Oh, absolutely, because you want to keep the young quarterback, Colt McCoy, out of those third and long situations. Eric Mangini knows that his quarterback is at risk of being picked off, sacked, hit, harassed by Dick LeBeau's defense. And 3rd and 3, you know, the defense has to play it a little bit more even, but the exotic blitzes tend to come from Dick LeBeau's defense when he has the offense in a 3rd and long situation.
5th defensive back is Gay. Hampton is out. 3rd and 3. Good block by Pashos. That's caught. Stuckey hit by Polamalu. Picks up 7 on 3rd and 3. Good throw by McCoy. First down to the 47.
See, and by getting the 3rd and 3, a 3rd and manageable, only a 4-man rush. Look, that's easy to read for Colt McCoy. Now he can stand in the pocket and just take the underneath easy throw to create a first down. So the ability to create 3rd and manageable really help your young quarterback to avoid that blitzing defense from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
First and 10. Hillis, big hole. Knocked down on the play by Timmons. Gain of 4. Hillis now today 42 yards on the ground in 11 carries.
You're going to clog up the A gaps with the blitzing linebackers. Look, he takes it to the B and C gap, going a little bit outside, and they're forced to bring in their cornerback. And look at McFadden. He has to come down and replace the linebacker who was blitzing. But that's what this defense does so well. If they're blitzing from one area, another defender is there to support and replace the blitzing defender.
4 in the secondary, 2nd down and 6. Hillis stopped. Jumping on his back, Lawrence Timmons. No gain on the play. They stay at the 49. And you wondered coming into this game for McCoy from the Cleveland perspective if they would scale back the offense or cater it to what McCoy does well.
You know, and the thing with Colt McCoy, he said that going through training camp, he never had a chance to work with the #1 offense. He said, I had to learn in the preseason games. That's where I got my reps, because remember, Seneca Wallace and Jake Delhomme, they were new to the offense as well, so they got all the reps with the #1s in practice. He had to wait till he actually got in a preseason game to work with his offense and to get any reps.
Looking into the nickel on 3rd and 7. Hillis wide open. Has the first down. Hurdling a defender. That was Polamalu. Runs out of bounds. He did the same thing last week in Cleveland to the 38. A catch and run of 11. Another first down for the Browns.
You can see Colt McCoy is limping because he took a shot, but he would stare down the barrel and got rid of this ball. Just a real good throw to Hillis. And watch Hillis. We saw him do that last week against the Atlanta Falcons, but look at McCoy. Just a little shove from Ferrier. And boy, his jersey's going to be dirty, and boy, will he have to get in the whirlpool from Monday.
McCoy's going to have that number 12, which he wore at Texas, retired at the end of this month. 47 school records. 8th play of the drive, 1st and 10. Mike Bell. They just made a trade with Philadelphia to get him, sending Jerome Harrison away. No gain on the play for Bell. First carry today, staying at the 38.
Right now, 8 plays on the drive by the Cleveland Browns. 5 runs, 3 pass plays as you take a look. So Colt McCoy is becoming a factor in this game. He is playing with a greater sense of poise. I like the plays that they're dialing up for him from their offensive coordinator. It's just quick throws, but the ability to create 3rd and manageable, that's really working in his favor.
2nd and 10. Bell is in. McCoy, look at the call. Vickers hit by Woodley to the 37 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Picks up a yard. Yeah, and jumping off your point, Stuckey has caught one for 25. Hillis got a first down run for 11.
Yeah, look at Colt McCoy. His patience and poise is growing. Look at the pressure coming in his face. Stepping up. Vision still down the field. Knows where his check down guy is, where Vickers is standing on the sideline. So he gets the ball out of his hands. He doesn't take a hit, but he's giving the play a chance.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Penalty on the Cleveland Browns. You heard just the tail end of the call right there. It'll make it 2nd down and 10. 5-yard penalty.
There's a correction. Pittsburgh has elected to decline the penalty. It'll be 3rd down.
3rd and about 10. 37-yard line.
How about Eric Mangini? He walked in our production meeting. I thought he was a new guy. He's lost some weight. He looks good, looking nice and fit. Even the coaches have to stay in shape.
A penalty, by the way, was illegal touching, and you can see what he's done on 3rd down today. He's been on this kind of stage before. You play at Texas, you play some pretty big games.
But it doesn't get any bigger than this. You can't play against a more complicated defensive scheme and a more hard-hitting defense on the road here in Pittsburgh.
Into the nickel on 3rd and 10. Brought down by Timmons. Lawrence Timmons with the sack, 2nd of the season, loss of 3, put it back at the 40, and they're going to have to punt the ball.
Give McCoy some credit. He stood in the pocket, wanted to hang in there, get rid of it, nowhere to go. Eyes come down, and now he's just running for his life as the pocket collapses around him. See, now he's looking for a receiver. See, once he pumps it, now he just really tucks it. Did a good job of securing the football and just taking the sack, living to fight another day.
James has put a couple of punts inside the 10 already in this game. Looking for the knuckleball and the great kick. He's done it again. How about that? This guy has had some kind of day. Costanzo, the ex-Bill, is the one to down it. 36-yard punt. He's been terrific. As big a story as the Browns have had today. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Sony. And by Toyota.
Cleveland Browns have successfully flipped the field. They began that last drive at their 9. They punted away to the 4 of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kemoeatu is back in at the guard. It's 1st and 10. Mendenhall with the block going deep for Wallace. Brought down by Elam all the way to the Cleveland 46. Roethlisberger a little bit shaking up a 50-yard strike and breathing space for the Steelers, but Roethlisberger slow to get up.
The speed of Wallace. He led the NFL in yards per catch 1 year ago as a rookie. Now he's just burning down the sideline. And as good of a throw or good of a catch as it was, I think it was an even better throw by Ben Roethlisberger, who's still down in the end zone. Ben was stumbling and kind of falling. Just his sheer athleticism allowed him to get this. He kind of trips up right there, steps up, and then just heaves it down the field as he takes a lick right in the chops. But just a tremendous throw, even though he was a little bit out of sync and well under pressure.
Legursky is the man down in the end zone for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is taking the place today of the injured Trey Essex. Legursky getting up slow. We told you Kemoeatu, you can see him right there. He left the game. Now he is back in. And they will bring in another lineman to take his place. 3rd straight start for the injured Essex.
This is what Roethlisberger brings to the table. I don't think a lot of other quarterbacks in this league could give the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now look as he steps up in the pocket. Scott Fujita, 99, right in the chops. He's looking down the barrel. He knows he's going to be hit, but yet he is willing to take the hit while trying to deliver the ball down the field to Wallace. That ball was thrown on the money, even though he was hit right in the chops. And so he's been knocked down, he's been hurried, but he hasn't taken a sack. That's another important ingredient he brings to this football team.
Ramon Foster takes the place of the injured Legursky at the right guard. 1st and 10 for Roethlisberger. Mendenhall, nice block. Going deep. He's got Heath Miller. Working on the rookie Ward. First catch today for Heath Miller, a Pro Bowler a season ago. A 37-yard hit. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh Steelers.
When we spoke to Sheldon Brown, defensive back by the Cleveland Browns, he said we cannot give up huge chunks of yards in the passing game, and 2 consecutive throws by Ben Roethlisberger, 1 to Wallace, this one to the tight end Heath Miller. Now we thought Heath Miller would be even a bigger part of the game plan today, and Ben, he's going to have to get in the whirlpool because he's going down hard in this game, but he gets up smiling because he's throwing BBs.
50-yard catch by Wallace, 37 yards right there. First and goal. Mendenhall with the block from Miller. Ward makes the stop. Gain of a yard to the 8.
Oh, this TJ Ward. He's a rookie defensive back. One of the guys we talked about in our 3 reasons why that you can't take the Browns lightly. He is a hard hitter. I think he's going to be a future star for this football team. You watch him on tape. He rarely takes a wrong step. He always plays physical, and he's a good player. Look at the passing yards today. Is that not an improvement?
Second and goal at the 8. Miller knocked away. Good coverage in the play by Abram Elam at the 2. Miller, third and goal.
I think we said at the top that the red zone receptor had to be Heath Miller. Is he coming off the left side of your screen? But you think the Cleveland Browns defender, Abram Elam, doesn't know that Heath Miller is a red zone presence for Ben Roethlisberger?
It's a good red zone defense for Cleveland, too. Number 3 coming into today in the NFL.
They are one of the best, absolutely.
Third and goal at the 8. That's Miller next to Roethlisberger. Touchdown, Hines Ward. Ben Roethlisberger has just thrown his second touchdown pass today.
Great players make you pay when you don't do the little things right. You blitz his man to man. Eric Wright, you going for the ball. Go for the man and make the tackle. Hines Ward says, if you're not going to tackle me, I'm going in for a touchdown. So Eric Wright, you know you're blitzing. You're manned up against Hines Ward. If he's going to catch it in front of you, you have to make that tackle.
Reed, 14-3. 3:13 to play in the third. 96-yard drive. He hit Wallace, did Roethlisberger for 50. 37-yard pass to Miller. Then an 8-yard touchdown pass to the aggressive Ward. 81st career touchdown of Hines Ward career. Second all-time in Pittsburgh history. Passing Jerome Bettis.
Wow. You ask what Ben Roethlisberger brings to this offense. How about an explosive weapon? He makes this offense much more explosive with his presence in the backfield.
Reed's kickoff. Cribbs is out of the game with a head injury. Joe Hayden back at the 4. Knocked off his horse right there. Stevenson Sylvester, rookie out of Utah. 24-yard return. Tonight on 60 Minutes, it's a wonder of the world in the holiest of cities. A dig that is uncovering thousands of years of history. So why is it causing so much tension? It's tonight on 60 Minutes, and it's only on CBS. 28-yard line, 1st and 10 for young Colt McCoy.
Well, we talked to Matt Roth and we talked to Sheldon Brown, defensive players for the Cleveland Browns. They said the margin of error was slim, that they could not allow a lot of points. It puts more pressure on their rookie quarterback to have to play catch-up and try to keep pace with Ben Roethlisberger and what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is doing.
Well, in the backfield, 1st and 10 for McCoy. Good time, great throw. Benjamin Watson's second reception today. Clark bangs him out of bounds. 23-yard catch to the 49 of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is one of the things I talked about with Colt McCoy. You cannot underestimate his accuracy. He is a very accurate passer when given time. You look at his technique as he steps up and delivers a well-thrown ball. So when given the time and given the vision down the field, he can make the throws and hit the open receivers. In my mind, that's the most important part about playing quarterback.
He's hit 5 in a row.
Yeah, he can hit you if you get open.
Hill on 1st and 10. Defended by Bryant McFadden a year ago with Arizona. Back now to Pittsburgh. Gain of 3 to the 46.
They've had a lot of quarterbacks come through Cleveland since they were reinstated in 1999. But, you know, they've had the Tim Couches. They've had the first-round picks. They've had the free agents. More than anything, you've got to look for a guy who can throw the ball. When a receiver gets open, can you hit him? That's the most fundamental question. I think Eric Mangini, when they look at Colt McCoy, they're going to find that that's at least the one thing that he does very well.
16th different quarterback to start for Cleveland since '99. Second down and 7. Stuckey. McFadden to the 43 on a pickup of 3.
Just a cavalcade of quarterbacks who've been there since Tim Couch in 2003. Kelly Holcomb, Luke McCown, Trent Dilfer, Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, former first-round pick, Dorsey, even Gretkowski, and now Seneca Wallace and Jake Delhomme. And the door is open for this young man to step in. I don't know that you can start in a more difficult situation. If you can survive this, maybe you can survive anything.
Hillis back into the nickel, 3rd and 4. Hillis with a good block. Incomplete. Looking for Stuckey. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
Kevin and Solomon, Baltimore trying to get a little breathing room on the Patriots after a Tom Brady pick. Joe Flacco going up top to Anquan Bolden, 25-yard strike. It is 17-10. Back to Kevin Harlan and NFL Playbooks, Solomon Wilcox.
Indeed, Bolden does a nice job for that offense, huh?
Thank you, JB. You know what? Anquan Bolden is loving him some Joe Flacco.
Hodges has had 3 punts inside the 10. Oh, that's knocked away off the shoulder pad of Antoine Randall L. 34-yard punt. Woo. And they have him back there to hold on because he's got sure hands on punt returns. This was right off his shoulder pad.
Hodges is knocking down some punts. That one comes off the shoulder. And remember, that ball's not eligible for recovery until it hits the ground. If he muffs it up in the air, the punt team defenders can't take it away from him. That new rule is emphasized at the beginning of the year. The ball is not free until it hits the ground. Then it becomes a live ball for anyone to recover.
Second half of the Cleveland Browns, 2 possessions, 2 punts. Roethlisberger coming off an 8-yard touchdown pass to Ward, 1st and 10. At the 9. Mendenhall with the gain of 2.
Score 7-3. Ben Roethlisberger goes to work inside his own 5-yard line. A 50-yard hookup while under pressure. Down the field to Mike Wallace. Then he comes back on the next play, a 37-yarder to Heath Miller very quickly. Then a touchdown strike to Hines Ward. 3 of 4 on the drive. Of the 5 plays, they threw it 4 times. So Ben Roethlisberger showing a quick strike ability to put numbers on the board. They came into today's game with the last ranked passing attack. I think those days are over.
Second down and 8. Brought down by Derek Robinson on that defensive line. No gain. They stay at about the 10-yard line.
Ben Roethlisberger, I think the way that he's playing today, I think it just gives this team a greater hope, greater sense of confidence to conquer all those things that are out in front of him. He is playing well. Now he takes his team into the 4th quarter where he tends to work even more magic. Welcome back to Heinz Field, where the Pittsburgh Steelers enter the 4th quarter. 14-3 is our score. The Steelers scored touchdowns in both the 2nd and 3rd quarter. It's the 5th time the Steelers have faced 3rd and 8 or longer in this game.
Third down and 8. Catch across the middle. The rookie Sanders, his 2nd reception today. Good for 15. 3rd and 8. Marking at the 25. Working on Mike Adams.
Sanders is a guy who had been inactive in the recent weeks. And look how he worked the coverage. Look how he works on Adams. Adams turns one way, he gets on the other side, and Ben is patient enough to wait and find him. The protection is there, so it's just good work in the passing game between the protection, Ben Roethlisberger's patience, and then Samuel's ability to find the hole in the defense.
Gursky back in at that guard, 1st and 10. Mendenhall. Robinson's got it. No gain.
Right now, if you're the Cleveland Browns, you've got to come up with a stop. Yeah, you've been on the field a lot. You're playing with a rookie quarterback, but you've got to be able to now help shorten the field for Colt McCoy. You've got to find some way to be able to take the ball away, create a turnover, and get some momentum back in this game and make the job easier for Colt McCoy.
In the nickel, 2nd down and 10. That's a good-looking catch. Antoine Randall working on Sheldon Brown. It's a gain of 11. His first catch today. First down to the 36.
Antoine Randall working against Sheldon Brown, the veteran cornerback. Pretty close. Only enough to get the hit after the catch has been made. So it's a great throw from Roethlisberger outside the numbers on the sideline. Good catch by Antoine Randall.
3 tight ends here. The numbers on Roethlisberger. 3 tight ends, bottom of your screen. First and 10. In the teeth of that defense of the Cleveland Browns. Gain of about 3 on the play. To the 38.
What was the word that we continue to hear from all the players and even the coaches when we met with the Pittsburgh Steelers? That word was balance. And that's what they have in today's game. 24 run plays called so far, 21 pass plays. So it hasn't gotten out of hand. Mike Tomlin understands what the running game gives them. He knows that Ben's going to get it in chunks. But at the end of the day, this game and their offense runs through Rashard Mendenhall.
It has a good field, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And they run it again.
On 2nd and 7. Up down on the play by Gokon. Gain of a yard to the 40.
During the offseason, team president Art Rooney Jr., he mentioned it. He talked about we have to put more emphasis on running the football. That's traditionally how they placed all those Lombardi trophies in their building. Take a look at the play selection for the Pittsburgh Steelers today. 25 run plays, 21 pass plays. That's the kind of balance they're talking about. Almost dead even with a little more emphasis on the run.
3rd down 6. Into the nickel. Here comes Fujita. And he may have toyed with that pass intended for Randall. Coverage by Abram Illam. And the punt coming up for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's no doubt about it. And watch Fujita coming into the face of Ben Roethlisberger. I think he hits that arm. Doesn't allow the follow through. Kind of like a jump shot in basketball. If you can't follow through, you don't keep the ball on its target line. And so he's not able to drive that ball home for a completion.
8 plays punt. Good looking boot by Sepulveda. But it kicks into the end zone going back for Chancey Stuckey. 60-yard punt. Back to the 20 for Cleveland and their quarterback McCoy when we come back. Right now in New York, they're putting together the Subway postgame show with JB Dan, Shannon Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Subway postgame show. Colt McCoy, 12 of 17 with a pick today on the 21st and 10. Blitz pickup. Hillis. Banged in the play by Larry Foote. Troy Polamalu. Gain of 3 to the 23-yard line.
I think it's a very smart play call by the Cleveland Browns offense coordinator Brian Daboll. I think the offense has to run through Peyton Hillis. And take a look at the comparison for Colt McCoy. How about the high completion percentage for him? 13 of 18, 140 yards. Only the 1 missed throw with the interception. But even when you want to run it, Peyton Hillis. When you want to throw it, get the ball out of your hands quickly to Peyton Hillis so he can create yards after the catch.
2nd down and 7. He's picked off. Nice defensive play across the way. That was Woodley. 3rd and 7.
Yeah, the dangers of this zone blitz defense is going outside the numbers. The ball is in the air longer. Much more difficult to complete it. And you don't see Lamar Woodley jumping inside the passing lane where he was lined up on the line of scrimmage, but immediately turned out to run to the point of intercept. And had he been able to catch it, he'd have had his 2nd interception of the season.
3rd down and 7. 5 in the secondary for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Out of the reach of Benjamin Watson. Look at all the black jerseys around him, including Polamalu and Clark Incomplete. They got a punt, 3 and out.
Colt McCoy said he wasn't going to play scared. But I tell you this is a tight window. Look, he's trying to get that ball in there. 3 defenders. Did he not give his tight end an opportunity to make a catch? Boy, if you're the tight end, if you're Benjamin Watson, you got to lay out and try to haul that ball in. I thought it was well thrown. Not perfectly thrown, but well thrown.
Dodgers the punt, and Antoine Randall back inside the 35. Not much hang time. Waved off by Randall, out of bounds inside the 40. Again, Cribbs is out, Massaquoi out for Cleveland. Both with head injuries, will not return. 37-yard punt. Big Ben has thrown a couple touchdown passes today for the Steelers.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Cadillac, the new standard of the world. Rogue Skyline. On November 12th, our first encounter will be our last stand. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Three and out for the Cleveland Browns. From the 39, 1st and 10. Mendenhall. Good block by Starks. Hit by Ward. Tumbles head over heels for a gain of 13 yards to the 48-yard line of the Browns.
What an option in your offense. Remember the home run, walk-off 50-yard touchdown run in overtime week 1 against Atlanta? This is reminiscent of that. But T.J. Ward is able to make the tackle at the second level, not allowing Mendenhall to reach the end zone. But Mendenhall has a great feel for where the holes are going to occur up front with that offensive line.
A lot of patience he shows.
77 yards rushing on the day.
1st and 10. Isaac Redman, big hole into the secondary. Rumbling his way into the grasp of Ward at the 35. 13-yard run on the heels of a 13-yard run by Mendenhall.
Starks, Pouncey, Foster, Legursky, and Adams. Take a look at this one. Wow, look at that hole there. I think we could hit that hole and come downhill. And he holds on to the ball, getting a chip block from his wide receiver, Mike Wallace, on the outside. But Foster and Flozo Adams on the right side, able to find a crease in that defense for the Cleveland Browns.
1st and 10. Mendenhall from behind. Eric Wright, loss of a couple yards, and it will be back at the 36-yard line. Later today, the world's top 10 bull riders take on the fiercest bulls in a first-ever open-air event in Times Square. It's the PBR Built Ford Tough Road to the World Finals. That's next on CBS. 2nd down, 12. Look at some of the numbers with the game. Look at the time. Oh, wide open is Wallace, out of bounds. Well, it's going to happen sometimes. 3rd and 12 coming up. He was uncovered.
Yeah, and the reason why he was uncovered, Ben Roethlisberger was really the cause and the effect, because watch the pump fake down the field. See, he's going to have the pump fake, and that's why the receiver bites. See that pump fake right there? And then he goes down the field, and that's where he's got to be able to hit him. Because he did the pump fake, that caused Eric Wright to sit on the pump. And then Wallace was uncovered and became wide open.
Now 3rd and 12, nickel for Cleveland. Hayden is coming. Good block by Miller. Over the head of Ward. Deep back there, they had T.J. Ward.
Ben Roethlisberger has looked pretty good. We talked about his level of consistency. I think 7 of 11 in the first half, 7 of 10 prior to this drive, excuse me. But this ball sails high over the intended receiver, Hines Ward, nearly intercepted. So his last 2 throws, it's kind of gotten away from him a little bit.
Sepulveda, number 2 in gross, number 5 in net in the NFL. Stuckey, great bounce for the Steelers. Downed on the play by Kieran Fox. 32-yard punt. Flag is down at the 40-yard line. Walt Anderson is our referee. Worked Super Bowl 35 as a line judge.
illegal formation offense, 6 men on the line of scrimmage. There'll be a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 4th down.
So they'll do it once again. Steelers came into today 3-1 in the first game, welcoming back Roethlisberger. As you take a look at Eric Mangini, who has lost Cribbs, which was a huge part of the game plan today offensively for his team, and of course special teams too.
Well, you can imagine, he loses his quarterback Seneca Wallace. You lose the second quarterback, Jake Delhomme, and now the loss of Joshua Cribbs.
Fair catch this. Another flag back at the 10. Flag was thrown at the 45. That was a 32-yard punt. Two in a row.
Illegal shift, number 37 offense. 5-yard penalty. We'll replay 4th down.
It's Anthony Madison, who was on the Cleveland roster last year, which to the chagrin of Mike Tomlin, 2 consecutive penalties on his special teams.
We were at the Friday practice, and Tomlin, his voice could be heard, barking out orders, talking to the special teams, talking to the defense, preparing for those situational moments. And he doesn't like what he sees right now, the punt team moving backwards.
From a different perspective, it seems like that has been a seamless transition from. There's another flag from Cowher to Tomlin. Fair caught by. Oh, and he bobbles this one. Stuckey tries to vacuum it in at the 13-yard line. Steelers seem to think they've gotten the ball. But a flag was thrown. They got the ball. Kieran Fox is the one to grab it. Let's see what that flag is all about. Normally it's Cribbs back there. Him out. Stuckey is the one retrieving the punts.
The ruling on the field was a muff punt recovered by the kicking team. It was offsides, number 23, defense.
Hayden.
A penalty is declined. 1st down.
That's the 5th time this season that a Daniel Sepulveda punt has been fumbled. And it's got kind of that funky backward spin on it because they want to try to down it inside the 10.
And the wind is swirling down in that end. We talked about the muff punt cannot be recovered by the punting team until the ball touches the ground. If he tips it and hits it up in the air, he can bobble it all day, and still it's his to recover until the ball touches the ground. At that point, it becomes a live ball, and the Steelers recover it.
From the Cleveland 13, 1st down and 10. Rashard Mendenhall. And brought down in the play by Schiefering with no gain in the play. They stay at the 13.
So after a series of penalties on Pittsburgh, they give themselves, after punting it 3 times, an opportunity to get the ball back. And now they're knocking on the door. Ben Roethlisberger, after shooting on a couple of passes, missing receivers who were wide open on that last possession, he'd like to be able to stick this one into the end zone. And if he does so, he's going to be looking for Heath Miller, one of his favorite red zone targets.
Second turnover today for the Cleveland Browns, where takeaway has been a big part of what the Steelers have done to carve out the 3-1 record and maybe 4-1 after today. 2nd down and 10. Redmond to the 10. Gain of 3 on the play. Locked down by Roth.
This is one of those situations where less is more. Normally they would spread it out, allow Ben to throw the ball in this area. You can see they're just content to just pound the running game. Time is on their side, and I think there's Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator. They continue to dial up run plays, 30 run plays as opposed to 24 pass plays for Ben Roethlisberger. Want to improve on those red zone possessions. When you get the spread formation, that's where Ben goes to work in the passing game.
3rd and 7 into the nickel. Mendenhall. Hayden with the tackle at the 1. Catch of 8. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
Good hit by Joe Hayden. This is about ball placement. Just thrown out in front of him a little more, but Mendenhall is going to get hit. It was a good throw by Ben Roethlisberger. I think it was right on the money. It allowed, I think, Mendenhall to not only catch it and try to make a move, but he turned his back to the defender, where Joe Hayden was able to get him out of bounds.
1st and goal at the 2. The Browns have not given up a rushing touchdown this season. Only team in the NFL to Boast that. Mendenhall. Touchdown.
Oh, yes, they're running the ball again in Pittsburgh, and they're doing it with Rashard Mendenhall. They get the ball back after the muff punt. They run 4 offensive plays. 3 of them were run plays, and even the pass play was to their running back. A budding star in Rashard Mendenhall, and Ben Roethlisberger shows his pleasure with the play call.
So the turnover proves costly for the Cleveland Browns. Here's the extra point try by Jeff Reed. 21-3 and 5:50 to play in the 4th. Mendenhall, another touchdown. He's had 3 in the last 2 games. Running back Rashard Mendenhall today, 24 carries and 77 yards. A touchdown run of 2 yards right there. Coupled with Roethlisberger's 2 touchdown passes, 21-3 the Steelers.
And I think they know what kind of running back they have in Rashard Mendenhall. I think he's full grown. He's matured in his role. And I think you can allow the offense to run through him, and he's going to help give them the balance that they're looking for on offense.
Reed kickoff. And picked up by Vickers, one of the up end of the 29-yard line. 9-yard return, and so another look at Colt McCoy in his NFL debut. 5:45 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Try the newest $5 footlong Subway Club today. And by Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the NFL.
Rashard Mendenhall just pounded one in from 2 yards away. 21-3 Steelers. Kickoff into the 30-yard line. The Cleveland Browns 1st and 10.
It'll be interesting to see if they go with their hurry-up offense and try to get a quick score. But do you want to do that with a rookie quarterback going up against this defense on the road?
Four in the secondary. On the run, needs to get to the 40, and down he goes, escaping the whack by Palomalo at the 34-yard line on a gain of 4. It's the Subway postgame show in New York from JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for scores, news, and highlights. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show at the conclusion of our game. 2nd down and 6. Shows with the block. Good catch. Benjamin Watson, the ex-Patriot. Out of bounds, Woodley. Steering him out of play at the 43 on a 23-yard hit from McCoy.
So they do go with a no-huddle offense. It's not hurry-up, but it is a no-huddle. And still, he's pointing at his guy. He comes back. So he was pointing originally at Watson. He goes to his left in the progression, then comes back to Watson. So you love the poise that you're seeing right now from Colt McCoy. And I've always loved the accuracy. I think that's what stands out the most.
1st and 10 underneath to Hillis. Polamalu. 3-yard gain to the 40.
There he is. Look at the communication by the young quarterback. And what did Mangini tell us? That he called his first play in the huddle, and everyone just kind of laughed because he did it in such a commanding voice. They're like, okay, we'll play along, but I think this is where you earn your stripes with veteran players.
2nd down and 7. Oh, he's got a wide open tight end. Great looking catch by Evan Moore. Working on Clark down to the 12. Pickup of 27. 1st down, Cleveland.
The moment is not too big for Colt McCoy in the 4th quarter. They need him to throw the ball. You have to take the training wheels off and allow him to attack this defense down the field. Evan Moore, excellent catch. But how about the throw from Colt McCoy?
Into the nickel, 1st and 10. Block Pashos. Incomplete. If you're a Cleveland fan watching at home, watching McCoy, where do you put now this performance and hope for the future?
I think you had the drums rolling because you almost felt like this kid was going to face the Baton Death March, coming to face this defense coming into the week. But after watching the game, you've seen that he's been hit, hurried, and harassed, but yet he wants to put points on the board. right now. And I think you are encouraged by what you're seeing from Colt McCoy.
This defense of Pittsburgh has only given up 4 touchdowns and chance of defense here at Heinz Field. 2nd down and 10. Nice escape. Touchdown. Benjamin Watson on the first career touchdown pass for quarterback Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy is playing with the big boys. He made this play. His escapability, his ability to lure coverage. Now watch as he steps up through this window. And now the coverage comes up to get him. See, he dropped coverage. Lawrence Timmons leaves the receiver wide open in the back of the end zone. It was simply by the mobility of Colt McCoy keeping his vision down the field. He lured the defender towards him, uncovered his receiver, made a very accurate throw. Great play by the rookie quarterback.
You've been talking about Roethlisberger extending the play all afternoon. That's exactly what McCoy did right there.
Exactly what he did there. Heads up play by Colt McCoy.
21-10. Dawson puts it through. McCoy in his NFL debut, because he is the 3rd string quarterback with injuries to Delhomme, injuries to Seneca Wallace, getting the call today. Next Sunday, the NFL on CBS delivers doubleheader action, highlighted by the Steelers against the Dolphins and the Patriots battling the Chargers. Check local listings beginning with the NFL today. We mentioned this earlier that they used the college term redshirt. They wanted to redshirt him. They did not want him in this position this early in the year, and especially on the road in Pittsburgh.
And he said, hey, but I didn't embrace the fact that they were willing to sit me. I'm going to work to come out and play in this game. And he said, look, I want to play. I'm a competitor. I want to get out. And he says, I'm excited for this opportunity. His head coach, Eric Mangini, says, look, when we drafted Colt McCoy and we draft players, we don't want some guy going home and hiding underneath the sheets because they're going to have to play in a difficult environment under tough circumstances. And boy, has Colt McCoy, I think he's answered. You look at the scoreboard, you see one thing, but if you put the tape on and you watched how he's playing in this game and how he's growing in terms of his poise and confidence, I think you have to be encouraged.
You know, Ben Roethlisberger was thrown into a situation when he was a very young player on the road. Maddox injured his elbow. He came in Baltimore, of all places.
And I remember that year. Onside kick.
Exactly. The onside boot. Steelers have got it, they say, at about the 40. Madison is at the bottom of that pile, and also in there going for it for the Cleveland Browns is Marcus Bernard. A lot of unspeakable things go on in that huddle and that scrum, huh? You've gone after loose balls before. You know what I'm talking about.
You go back to the Super Bowl. Remember Sean Payton's gutsy call at halftime to attempt that onside kick? That ball changed hands at the bottom of the pile, and the Super Bowl hung in the balance. That's how much is riding on who gets that ball, and that's how much is going on at the bottom of the pile. It's a mid-area onside kick. And watch how many guys touch that ball. There's a couple. There's 2, 3. It looks like it was more in the hands of someone with a gold jersey on. But look at that down there at the bottom of the pile. Scrapping and clawing for the ball. Now, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, remember, I think it was Mike Tomlin said, hey, in this situation, 4-minute offense, we want to pound the running game. And if you're the Cleveland Browns on defense, you got to know that's what they intend to do.
And they've got both Mendenhall and Redmond back there. Mendenhall on 1st and 10. Knocked down by Roth, the ex-Dolphin, to the 36 on a gain of 3.
This is where the ability to run the football pays off for a team who does it well.
Ooh, good hit by Ward. Huh?
I told you TJ Ward could bring the heat. I told you he's going to kiss you right there on the chin. Good hit, good tackle. But that 4-minute offense, that's what helps you to close out games. This is what they did in the days of Jerome Bettis. This is what they hope to do now that Rashard Mendenhall has stepped up and become their primary runner.
Johnson in the backfield with Redmond. 2nd down and 7. Brought down by Schaeferling on a gain of 4. They'll put him at the 32 with both teams enjoying 3 timeouts remaining in the game.
The Cleveland Browns defensively, you got to scrape, you got to claw, try to get the ball out. You got some young runners for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Isaac Redmond, 1-year player out of Bowie State. And then you've got other guys who are not used to finishing off ball games carrying the football. Even Mendenhall's in his 3rd year. So when you have young runners, you got to make sure they secure the ball. You got to continue to test their ability to hold on to it.
3rd and a long 2. Going for Spaeth. By the linebacker Gokar. Wow. They're throwing back and high.
Yeah, Ben's going to want that back. He's had a few of those here in the 4th quarter.
To be expected.
Yeah, well, I think he played better early. I don't expect it. I know Mike Tomlin doesn't either. He has thrown the ball well in all the previous moments. Now, you say, well, why is the ball selling high on him now? I think he's getting a little over anxious. That's when you're trying to do a little bit too much and maybe not following through with the correct technique and fundamental.
Wind is at his back about 12 miles an hour as we watch Sepulveda's punt. And Stuckey lets it go and down by Madison at the 2. 29-yard well-placed punt by Daniel Sepulveda. And McCoy will be marooned at his 3.
And the Cleveland Browns get another opportunity to get the ball. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go, and you allow your young quarterback to grow up in these kinds of moments. I wouldn't be afraid to put it on his shoulders. I wouldn't be afraid or timid to ask him to lead my offense down the field with 2:30 to go, and you're down by 11.
Ryan Mundy has come in as another defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got 5 back there. 1st and 10 from McCoy. On the money. Chancey Stuckey. And the tackle made by James Ferry at the 14-yard line, pickup of 11.
What did Colt McCoy tell us? Hey, number one thing, find where the blitzer is coming from. The other thing, know where Troy Polamalu is.
1st and 10. Trubisky. Tackle made by Gay. 5-yard gain to the 19-yard line. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. McCoy will have 3 timeouts and a long way to go. Trailing 21-10 here in the 4th. 2-minute warning. The interception on Colt McCoy came in the first series of the game for the Browns on a deflected ball. Nice second half.
Yeah,
look at that.
Since then, he has settled down. The education of Colt McCoy continues.
3 timeouts, 2nd down and 5 for McCoy at his 19. Into the nickel. Eason had him. Finished off by James Harrison. And the tackle back at the 15. 4th sack on McCoy. Loss of 4.
And the pocket just collapsed. He could not escape. They had him well contained. This kid is growing up. And we talked about this being the most difficult of positions to step in for any rookie quarterback to get his first NFL start against a Dick LeBeau zone blitz defense. I don't know that it could become any more complicated or any more difficult than that.
Certainly one of the headlines today, McCoy. The other headline, the return of Ben Roethlisberger. Recall the last time these two teams played each other last December in Cleveland. 13-6 Browns win. They got to Roethlisberger 8 times, 8 sacks in that game. Not sacked at all today.
And that game pretty much sunk their hopes of making the playoffs. It was their 5th consecutive loss during the 2009 season.
3rd and 9. Almost picked off. Another interception. This time it's picked off by Lawrence Timmons. Dancing his way. Monday they stepped out of bounds on the far side at the 18. A Browns player is down on the far side. Another deflected pass causing a McCoy interception. Timmons with his first interception of the season.
He's looking for his intended receiver off to the left side of your screen. Now he's going to be hit. Thrown behind, just a hair behind Benjamin Watson, and then it ends up in the hands of the defender. And so the ball is going to be ricocheted, and this is just just a tough deal. And Lawrence Timmons comes down with it, and he tried to get it into a tight window off the back hip of Benjamin Watson. Keep your head up, kid, because came into a tough position, and he competed well.
Player down, Floyd Womack. He got back up on that sideline, and he appears to be okay. From the 18 of Cleveland, it's down to 10 for Roethlisberger. Number tight ends, Mendenhall. Wrapped up by Robinson. Gained to about the 14-yard line. He picks up 4.
The bounce of the ball. We talked about the interception on his first possession of the game. And how the game has slowed down for him. He is beginning to see things, and he was willing to take some chances and challenge this defense, led them on a scoring drive for a touchdown. I thought he made some other throws, or maybe if a receiver's given a greater effort, could have been completed. That one was on the back hip of the tight end, ended up being intercepted.
Numbers on Ben Roethlisberger, a couple touchdown passes. He had one interception himself. Hayden picked that one off early in the game. But they extend the field, and that's what Mike Tomlin told us a couple days ago. We got to get that long pass back in our offense, and they have. Especially to Wallace. 2nd and 6. Lincoln Hall. Robinson among the many over there making the stop down to the 13 and a gain of a yard. Mendenhall today 27 carries, 84 yards. Robinson right there. Again, Josh Cribbs left early, got drilled in the ear hole of his helmet by Harrison on a tackle as he was in the Wildcat. He left the game. Massaquoi left the game with the same similar hit. So they were operating with a lot of their playbook going into today taken away. The Wildcat was going to be a prominent part of their offense, we knew. And
Mike Tomlin and Cleveland, or excuse me, the Pittsburgh Steelers facing Murderers Row on the road at Miami. Then at the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. Then on the road against a divisional opponent in the Cincinnati Bengals, and back home to play host to the New England Patriots. So Ben Roethlisberger returns just in time.
Cleveland out of timeouts, 3rd down and 6. Redmond in the backfield. Into the nickel. He's got him. Miller. Touchdown. Beating Sheldon Brown. Roethlisberger with his 3rd touchdown pass today for Coach Mike Tomlin.
They're still coaching, and it's all about execution. After several overthrows here in the 4th quarter for Ben Roethlisberger, they dial up yet another pass to guess who inside the red zone? Heath Miller. And what a throw by Big Ben, needing to settle down here in the 4th quarter. First 4 games, they had 3 touchdown passes. Ben has 3 alone in this game today.
Cashing in on the interception of McCoy. 28-10. Pittsburgh on the Reed extra point. 1:25 to play in the game. Well, about as good a outcome of this game right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the performance of Roethlisberger getting the balance you talked about before, running pass, all in all against a divisional opponent, a team that beat you last time they played. Not too bad.
And I think he'll tell you he missed on some throws late in the ball game. I think he got off to a real good and early start. I think he's going to tell you, you know what? Yeah, there had to be some nervous jitters coming into this game. Such high expectations from the fans here. He knows that he needed to lift what was the NFL's last ranked passing attack, and he made those plays down the field. He led this football team, and he didn't do anything to disrupt, I think, the balance and the winning formula that had existed in the previous 4 games prior to his return.
McCoy is out of timeouts. If he gets the ball back, here is Reed. 3 turnovers today for the Cleveland Browns. Deep back is Joe Hayden. Pittsburgh Steelers win their 2nd game at home, and they'll go to 4-1. Browns will drop to 1-5. They'll play the Saints next week. Hayden. And that's De'Aaron Fox. 21-yard return. Out to the 23. And the Saints in the bye.
And then the Patriots and the Jets.
Wow. They've had the toughest schedule so far on paper.
And that bye could help them get a Seneca Wallace or Jake Delhomme back before taking on the New England Patriots and the New York Jets. But you know that trip to New Orleans, that will be a difficult task.
Bell in the backfield, 1st down and 10 for McCoy. The 23, Harrison got a hand around and trips him up. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Look at the jersey. of Colt McCoy. I mean, that tells you everything about how his day has been. He's been in a football game.
His mom and dad have been in a football game too. In fact, yesterday they were in Lincoln, Nebraska, watching Colt's younger brother play for the Texas Longhorns in the UT win. 2nd down and 10. Bosworth did a nice job with his block on Woodley. And Moore with the catch.
Wow.
Working on McFadden, makes the grab at the 42. 35-yard hit and a 1st down.
Every time I watch the tape, I can't tell you how impressed I am with Evan Moore. As you take a look at the family of Colt McCoy, they're impressed by what they're seeing from the young man because he continues to fight. And we talk about his accuracy. I don't know that we can talk about it enough. That was one heck of a throw.
Moore caught one earlier for 27 yards. 1st and 10. And a little catch there by Mike Bell, who played for New Orleans a season ago and has a Super Bowl ring to show it. He was traded for middle of the
Offside.
week with Philadelphia.
Number 92 defense. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
Harrison.
Look at Colt McCoy. Now, this is the previous pass play down the field to Evan Moore. Now look at him. He's willing to take a chance. Out on the edges of the defense. Look at this. Dead on the money.
Great throw. 1st and 10. McCoy to the end zone for Moore. Oh, he was mauled and no yellow on the play. Just a well-timed defensive play by Bryant McFadden. It's a quarterback watching a big, lanky tight end.
Yeah, and Moore is a big guy, so that's where you do. You put it up high and you put it on the upfield shoulder where only your guy can get it, where McFadden can't cut underneath for the interception.
That might have been a little bit early on that connection. Coverage by McFadden. 2nd down and 10. Steelers playing with 6 defensive backs. McFadden attacking 29-yard line, gain of 3. Moore was in the Green Bay training camp last year.
Yeah, and he started to come on in the 2nd half of last season with the Cleveland Browns, where he really, he showed in practice. They put him in games, and he continued to make plays there.
Final play of the game, 3rd and 7. The bounce, 4 seconds to play. Watson, 13-yard catch. Works on Lawrence Timmons, and that'll be it. He was not all the way out of bounds. Roethlisberger in his return with 3 touchdown passes. Mendenhall with a touchdown run. The Steelers go to 4-1. The Browns fall to 1-5. So for Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Pittsburgh. Subway postgame show is coming up next from New York. Good afternoon from